From unsolved mysteries to unexplained phenomena, from comedy gold to relationship fails, Amazon Music's got the most ad-free top podcasts, included with Prime. Because the only thing that should interrupt your listening is, well, nothing. Download the Amazon Music app today.
Cornerstone Content is your best and most important articles on your website. These, my friend, are the posts that you make to rank high in the search engines and make you look like the authority you are. Would you like 7 easy steps to creating those amazing anchor pieces of core content? You would? Well, then stay tuned and find out.
Being an entrepreneur sounds like, yes, another new client. I did it. But it can also sound like, I am really not understanding this technology, and I'm feeling so overwhelmed. Am I even cut out for this? That's why I started the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast, to help infopreneurs, coaches, and course creators who want to build a business online but are battling technology, overwhelm, procrastination, and even imposter syndrome. Think successfully, think differently, think bigger, and take action by learning tips from an array of business owners, all dropping knowledge on the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast. Check us out at www.darkhorseschooling.com.
What is up? What is up? What the heck is up, my Dark Horse friends and family? Welcome back to another dose of content creation learning. I'm your Dark Horse host, Tracy Brinkman, and I have been in the coaching, course creation, and online space since the 90s. Yeah, I dated myself. But if you've seen me in the gray beard, you know how old I am. That's okay. But here's the thing. Got a little experience on my belt, but here I am still learning. However, to me, the more important question is, who are you? And the answer to that is infinitely more important than even the question, because I believe you are a driven entrepreneur, perhaps even an infopreneur that's here because you're ready to start, restart, kickstart, or just start leveling up with some great marketing, personal, or business tips and results. Very important to get some results in order to build that beautiful business of yours into the empire it absolutely deserves to be. And one of the best ways to start telling more people about your empire is with some key Cornerstone content. See, Cornerstone content is the best and the most important articles that you are going to put on your website. These are the posts that are going to make you rank high in the search engines and get you looking like the authority that we already know you are. Your goal when it comes to writing one of these articles is to provide the best, the most important and complete information on the topic, whatever the topic might be. Your goal is not to sell, at least not right away. Here's the thing. You want to represent yourself and your website, your podcast, your social media channels, your YouTube channel as the authority on the topic. That way, when readers turn and start looking for that solid information, they turn to your website, your podcast, your YouTube channel, your social media channels for that solid information and advice. Now, with the right Cornerstone content, you can raise your brand awareness and possibly even achieve high rankings in the search engines, bringing you, the all ever wanted free traffic. You can build natural links to other pages in your site. You can build natural links from your social media channels and from other external sources. You will position yourself as an authority in your business, and you'll increase trust in your brand as well as your products. You'll also attract prospects who can be nurtured into becoming customers. And at the end of the day, that's really what we want, right? We're here to help other people. And quite often they'll come to you and they'll check you out and they're like, oh, this is good stuff. But you just don't say, okay, buy my stuff. No, you got to nurture them into becoming a customer. Now, while these Cornerstone content articles are usually longer and super informative, they combine insights from other blogs and sources. Please do not be intimidated into thinking that it's beyond the scope of your abilities to create this kind of content. Why? Because I'm about to break it down into 7 easy steps. Here we go. Step number 1, pick your topic. There are 3 questions that you're going to want to consider when choosing a topic. Does it align with your business, and will it attract your ideal customers? All right? Does it align with your business, and will it attract your ideal customers? For example, let's say you're in the niche of stock investing. You don't want to create some Cornerstone content about buying a home. It just doesn't align. Sure, do people that invest in stocks buy homes? Yes, but that's not your core competency, right? Okay, here's the next question you want to think about. What would make your customer's life easier if only someone would have taken the time to explain it in detail? Your ideal customers need to be actively searching for and craving, just hungry for the information that you're about to give them in this core piece of content. And here's the third question. Does it interest you? Because if you're not interested in it, here's the thing. You're going to be devoting some significant time to researching, writing, and optimizing this anchor piece of content. If the topic bores you, you can still write about it, but you know it's going to be a little more difficult for you than if it was something you're excited about. And I'm hoping that if you choose a topic to write about, it's because you're passionate about it and you have a core bit of knowledge. You're just going to do the extra research to enhance that even more. And here's the thing about doing the extra research. Even though you're very knowledgeable in the content you're about to write, you're helping your prospects and your customers and your clients by doing the research for them. You can tell them that right out of the gate. I spent some time enhancing my knowledge so that you won't have to. They'll be like, oh, thank you very much. And that leads right into tip number 2. Do your research. Yeah, right? You like how this all blends together? Hopefully you know your customer inside and out, right? You do, because usually they're you. You know what they want to know. You know what keeps them awake at night. You know what would improve their lives vastly. Now, you're going to become the expert on that topic. Talk to existing customers and find out exactly what they want to know about your topic. What are their pain points? Read posts on the topic. Read books. Do interviews. Read interviews, so forth and so on. Take copious notes and plan to quote those experts that you read or listened to or interviewed yourself, and quote those sources whenever you can. Use your own examples, your own stats, and your own stories and experiences whenever possible, combining what you know with what you gather from other sources. All right? Tip number 3, plan your content. Now, this is when the fun begins. You might be writing something called The Complete Guide to blank, whatever the topic is, or Everything You Ever Wanted to Know About blank, again, whatever your topic is, or How to Achieve blank, whatever your topic is. Once you have a basic plan of what your article will achieve, start outlining your topics and your subtopics. You might want to use a step-by structure from beginning to end, or a list, like we talked about in episode 348, ways to make your listicles amazing. So you can create a listicle or whatever works best for the topic that you have chosen. Okay. And so, by the way, you might want to go back to listen to episode 348, where we talked about listicles. The listicles are very popular. You see them all the time, where it's like the top 10 ways to X, or the top whatever. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I won't beat that one to death. Tip number 4. Now it's time to write. Actually, it's really step number 4, isn't it? Yes. Okay. Now, there's no doubt that this step is going to make most people cringe. I don't want to write. If you prefer, you can always outsource the work. Keep in mind that your content needs to be clear and concise, and it doesn't have the rambling over here and the rambling over there and going off topic, whimsical. No, right? You want to stay focused on the topic. I know every once in a while I ramble. Deal with it. Sorry. It should be genuinely helpful in solving one or more of your customers' problems. That's the goal of the article. That's the reason they're going to come read to it. When they finish reading it, their reaction should be, wow, this is the best thing I've read on this topic. I wonder what else this person has to offer me. And I do not say that tongue-in-cheek. I really want them to walk away thinking, damn, that was a good article. I wonder what else they have. Personally, here's the thing. When I read someone else's Cornerstone content, I will, this is no joke, go immediately join that person's email list so I won't miss anything else. So you're going to want to make it that impactful. Accuracy is going to be a piece of that, right? It's very essential because, well, at the end of the day, it's your reputation. They're reading the information, and if it's wrong, they're going to go, I'm never listening to this person again. And of course, you want to, like I mentioned earlier, include links from expert sources that you're quoting or using as part of your research. Build your keywords naturally into your content. Don't go in there keyword stuffing. That's not going to help. You can use tools like Grammarly or Hemingway to make your writing as clear and as easy as possible to understand. You could even get a couple of people to read your article in advance and look for anything that might be, muddled or confusing. Right? That way they can give you some advice. If you do ask someone else to read it, ask them specific questions. Like, hey, could you read this article and look for X or look for Y? And if you ask multiple people, ask each of them to look for something different. There's nothing worse than someone coming to you and say, hey, could you read this article for me? Yeah, sure, no problem. And then when you read the article and then they ask you questions, they might end up asking you questions. You're like, well, I wasn't looking for that. I was reading the article because X. So give them specifics about it. And trust me, most of your friends will thank you for the direction. If you're doing writing in this, as opposed to using it, say, in a podcast or a YouTube video, you want to add some eye-catching images and graphics to break up the content and make it more visually appealing. And if you're using a YouTube video, you still want to do the same thing, right? Keep your paragraphs short. Much like as I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to keep each one of these tips short because here we are, we're 12 minutes in, and I've still got 3 more tips to share with you. Tip number 5, optimize your article. The hard part is finished. The writing is done. Pencils down. Now, it's time to tweak and optimize. Your primary keyword, you're going to make sure it's in the URL, it's in the title tag, and it's also in your headline. Okay? No matter where you use this. If you use it on a YouTube video, you want it to be in your title. You want it to be in the first sentence or 2, I think it's 200 characters of your description. You want to have it in the tag. Okay? So wherever your keyword you're trying to tweak for, you're trying to optimize for, make sure it's in the URL, in the title tag, and in the headline. Ideally, the title should answer an exact question being asked in Google. So it might be part of your research early on. What questions are being asked on this topic? Create subheadings that hold keywords as well as other keywords being populated throughout your text. This will help your readers and the search engines alike to recognize the relevance of your content. Right? These search engines have gotten really smart over the past couple of decades. And so make sure you don't know, we're not talking about keyword stuffing here. We're just talking about make sure it's relevant to the content the questions you're trying to answer and the content you're trying to share. Use alt text for your visual content. So when you put a picture in there, you can put in what's called alt text. And there you're going to populate with relevant keywords in the image file names. Make sure your page and your images load fast. Man, don't. I struggled with this when I first started this podcast with the website. My website was taking like 8 seconds to load. That is brutal. Remember, you're not charged for this content. So you don't want to place it behind a paywall or pay gate. And it's for free. And people don't want to wait 8 seconds for your content. I know it's 8 seconds ain't a long time, but when you're waiting for a website to load, it is forever. Okay, now, you want to place plenty of internal links to other pages in your website that point to other Keystone content or Cornerstone content. Like, for example, I mentioned earlier, episode 348, how to turn your listicles and make them awesome. I can use that to link over to that particular episode of the podcast on my website. So that's internal structuring. This also helps you with your rankings. Google favors a robust internal linking structure. Now, done with that. Tip number 6, promotion. Okay, now you've got your masterpiece laid out and it's time to tell the world about it. The goal is to reach as many people as possible. Well, duh, Tracy, I know that. So what do I do? Well, let's try this. If you have an email list, let's let them know about your new Cornerstone piece of content. Email them, send it out, saying, hey, check this out. Give them a little brief, 1 or 2 sentence. Don't give them this big long email that tells them everything. Give them a 2-sentence teaser. Then email them again. When you email them that second time, maybe a day or 2 later, email that second one to the list of those that didn't open the first one or that didn't click the link. Okay, and tell them, hey, I told you about this amazing content. You didn't click the link. Make sure you go check it out. Maybe even offer an incentive to read it if you need to. If you want to start sending some traffic as quickly as possible, that's tip number 1. Use your social media accounts to tell your followers about the article, right? Schedule social media posts several times a day for the first couple of days after you post that Cornerstone content. And then periodically afterwards, remind them. Use personalization whenever possible. Hey, you guys, all my sales folks, I did this amazing piece of content about handling objections, right? I drew a blank there for a second. Whatever it might be. You can even take a snippet of this piece of content and use it as your social media content. Say, hey, this is just one piece of this amazing piece of content. Put it out there. Click the link down in the show notes or whatever it is and check out the full content, right? Contact every expert and website that you quoted inside your article and let them know about it. Some of them, heck, many of them, will tell others through their social media, right? Sometimes they'll even link to your content from whatever the article or whatever piece of content that you referenced that you used. They'll link them together. Now you're getting some of that link juice. You might even consider investing a little paid promotion as well. You can reach a highly targeted audience this way and use the new traffic to further build your email list. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Make it simple for visitors to share your content with others by adding social media buttons, share me links, email, all the little tricks. Highlight especially good quotes in your article and make it one-click easy for them to tweet, to TikTok, to social media, to Facebook share, etc., etc. All right? And finally, tip number 7, make regular updates. Yeah, don't be lazy about this. Okay? You got into the wrong line of business if you're looking for something easy. And here's the thing. Google loves fresh and highly relevant content, which is why you're going to want to perform regular updates on your own Cornerstone articles. Now, this is not something I'm saying you got to do every month, but periodically, every 6 months, 8 months, periodically, depending on how fast your industry is changing, you're going to want to go back through that Cornerstone content and refresh it. Make sure it's keeping up with new trends, new resources, new news, and the latest stats. Make sure everything is still working and relevant, including all the links. Sometimes websites disappear. Sometimes new ones pop up with new stats. You're going to go, oh, wow, update. The stats was this. Now it's that. It's even better. It's more exciting. And here's why it's updated. You get me? Okay. Now, if your fonts or your layout are looking a little dated, how many times have we gone to a website and thought, holy shit, this is from 1995? You don't want anyone to think that about you. Update them along with the photos, the charts, and everything else so forth. Also, check to make sure the page is still loading quickly and properly. Again, we don't want that 8-second load time, do we? Okay? So follow these steps, these 7 steps, and you'll be able to create Cornerstone content that is loved by the search engines, gets you that free traffic, and really, I think the most important piece is enjoyed and devoured by your readers. All right, next time around, we're going to talk about the secrets to making those stupid affirmations work. Yeah, a little personal development piece for you. In the meantime, I'm going to leave you as I always do. Think successfully and take action.
Thank you for listening to the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in.
Check us out at www.darkhorseschooling.com.
All right.
My name is Tracy Brinkman.